One of the first books that I read that allowed me to go from my now wife, girlfriend at the time, being in debt for our everyday necessities because I couldn't pay for the electricity bill, I couldn't pay for food, heck, I couldn't even get a couch. So my friend and I, in our tiny little apartment, went and found a couch on the side of the street, brought it into our living room, and eventually I was able to increase my income by tens and tens of times. And it all started with this one book. And I want to share with you the biggest ideas from that book so that you can apply that to your life to easily manifest and attract more money into your life. This is part one of a 3-part video series. Let's dive right into the video. Number one, Money Magnetism. Money Magnetism by Donald Walters is essentially, I think, one of the greatest books on the essence of money ever, right? So there's two ways that you attract money in your life. One is through systems and tools, like for instance, let's say that you were in a certain job and then you learn a more effective system or process in order to do it, right? So that's the doing or systems or outer aspect, might be the best way to put it, outer aspect of money. And then there's an inner. And in the inner, a lot of times we actually block money. And when I was 19 years old, my wife, now, she was my girlfriend at the time, was in debt. And she was in debt because I couldn't pay for anything. Electricity bill, I couldn't pay for groceries, like I could pay for nothing. I couldn't even pay for a couch. So my friend and I went on the street and we found a couch and we brought it inside, and that was our couch in the living room. And it was rough, and I finally had I've had enough moment. And I was like, I've had enough of this. Like, come on. I was stressed all the time. It was hard, and it was difficult. And I couldn't even buy like the camera I wanted to make my videos. Like it was a tough time, and I eventually just had enough moment. And when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I was ready, and the teacher that appeared was this book. It was the first book I ever read on money. And I realized I had all these belief systems in regards to money that were actually blocking it. It's not that important. Money isn't as important as happiness, which is like, what's more important, your arm or your leg? They're both important. And I had all these belief systems. And when I read this book, Money Magnetism, I started to realize what money was. What money is an energy, and I used to think of it as a finite object that was inherently evil, which is the silliest thing ever. It's how can it be evil? That's like saying a car is evil or a door is evil because you get hit in the face by the door, right? Like, it's not evil, and I thought it was evil, and I didn't realize that it's an energy system. And it's an energy system that can actually be a great spiritual practice and help your spiritual evolution. And that's what I learned from this book, is to treat it as an energy system and to treat it as a part of your spiritual practice. And there was a very famous, he's dead now, very famous Indian yogi named Paramahansa Yogananda, if you can say that back twice. And he had a center right down the street from where I grew up in Encinitas, San Diego. And what I didn't know at the time was when I read this book, he cited passages from him. And one of the passages, he essentially said that the greatest, or one of the greatest spiritual practices that you can embark on while you're here in this physical world is the practice of creating money honestly through providing value to the world to help with your own practices. Now, the reason this is true is because what happens is almost all the time we need some, like, unless you're living in a community that literally doesn't even collect to the electrical grid and the power grid, and you literally have never been to the store, everything, like, you literally have no reason to be a part of society in the least at all. Nothing comes from the world of commerce. Then you're gonna need money on some level. And what happens is we either move into quite often we move into a greed energy or a scarcity energy or a lack energy, or we're dependent on other people for it. Now, these are all ways that we're actually we're not helping our soul evolve. And money actually is one of the foundational principles of spiritual self-reliance in this physical world, in that if you don't have whatever it is for you, meaning that you're spending less than you earn, and you're making enough to provide you with whatever types of values and experiences that are important to you in this realm, in this physical world, unless you have that, you become dependent quite often. And like, whether it's dependent on another person at all times, and if they don't provide your expectations, then it causes some type of discord, whether it's being dependent on the government, or whatever it might be. And what I found from reading this book was that just like I need self-reliance in other areas of my life, and that's a coin that was popularized by Ralph Waldo Emerson in his compilation of essays, which is a book called Self-Reliance. And what I realized out of that was that I needed to be self-reliant in my relation with and to money in this world of commerce as well. And that was this huge changing point in my life when I read this book, because I realized, wow, this is actually important that I master. I'd already decided that my spirituality was important, my meditation was important, connecting to that higher power was important, my health was important, my fitness was important, the foods and the things I was putting into my body, going to the gym every day, all of those things, but I hadn't decided money was important, and I had gathered so much self-reliance and self-sufficiency in these other areas of my life, but I was struggling in this area, and it was affecting my relationships and my spiritual mission on earth, because I didn't have the money to do what I'm doing right now in any capacity. Because and in addition to that, that caused me to feel stressed and worried, which stunted my creativity, so I couldn't do what I'm doing now. And I learned all of this from this book. So needless to say, super powerful book, and it's called Money Magnetism. All right, so this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com. Thank you for watching part of the 3-part book series on 3 books that allow me to 10x my income and will help you manifest more money. If you really want to change your life, make sure you download my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com, right there down below, to train your mind for wealth and for success subconsciously, right? 95% of our life is governed by our subconscious thought patterns. And if you can retrain that, you can change your whole life. jakeshypnosis.com. Double check that you've hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. The bell notification is what notifies you for new videos. So make sure that you hit the bell notification. Comment down below if you're going to buy one of these books, or if you've already read it, what was your thoughts on it? Have a beautiful day. Hashtag down below prosperity forever. Hashtag down below prosperity forever. Hashtag that down below. Have a beautiful day, and see you next time.